Hey, I'm Bryan May. I am the owner of the bar gym and the bar apparel. Let's get through these questions. There you go. That's a long question, but we'll go start from day one. Back in 2013, I started getting into it. I went to Gold's Gym in Fort Walton. I met a couple guys that were into powerlifting, and I learned a lot from those guys, but it wasn't the environment for me. I kind of got kicked out of that place because of the intensity and things like that. And then I asked the guys I was training with, I said, hey, where is a good place to train for powerlifting? And they said the bar gym up in Milton. I lived in the bar, so that's only about maybe a 45-minute drive. So I went up there and I'd seen the gym and I fell in love with the place. It was off of 90 at the time. Real old place, very small. Had graffiti. I liked this style. The vibe was great for it, and I fell in love with it. So I got started into that, and then I started powerlifting then and doing meets. That's how I got into the sport. How I got into owning the bar gym, 2016, around that time. At the time was owned by a girl named Amanda and her ex-husband. They're going through the divorce, and she really didn't want any more part of this gym. And I saw it kind of going downhill. So I came in and I said, hey, what would it take for me to offer to buy the assets off of you? And she gave me a number, and it was doable. And at the time, I was working offshore as a commercial diver. I knew there was a limit for me out there. Like I know that there was a time that I needed to prepare for me to leave from offshore, especially a job I was on. There was a ceiling to me, and I was only going to go so far. There was a beginning for me to end from leaving going offshore. So I bought the business in 2016, and it started rolling from there. We started off in 90. Within a couple months since I took it over, we moved it up the Berry Hill. We had no money at the time. We had zero. It evolved from there, and I couldn't even do a build out. It was horrible. Oh my God. They had brown carpets in there. So I had Cody Booth, my gym, he was going to chiropractic school in Daytona. He needed money, so he moved it for like $1,200. And I was like, sold. And we moved over there, and it was like one big unit, and then next door was one single unit, and then another single unit. And the middle unit was the powerlifting room. The bigger unit was always the general fitness room, and then we had a cardio room out there to the side. It was like a maze we had to go through. It was just absolutely horrible, but it did its job. We evolved it from there when COVID hit. Got enough influx in members after they reopened that I could take a salary position less than what I was making offshore, but I needed to be home to run it because it was just me and my mom at the time running the gym. I knew that I needed to be home more often. It finally got to the point where I made enough money that I took a salary off of it, and we kind of moved from there. Spent the last couple years getting there, and then we moved into the current location we're at off of Dogwood, which is massive. It's 10,000 square feet. We're already outgrowing this place as is. That's where we're at right this minute. That's kind of the history of the bar in a very slow nutshell. How did we launch the apparel line? This is a funny story, and I never really shared this with too many people. When I was at Gold's Gym, I always wanted to do apparel. I always wanted to come up with some cool ideas. It kind of was, I put it down to the side. I'm like, okay, the gym top priority, and I had to build that up. Then how we launched the apparel side is when we moved over here, I just started creating the ideas and then making the t-shirt side. Just ideas that I came up with. A mixture of funny stuff, hardcore stuff, simple designs. I mix everything together. I just flow whatever I think is cool and what I like to see on a t-shirt or pant. Some people like it, some people might not, and everybody has what their brand that they like. I'm just trying to get the brand of the bar gym out there across the nation. People like it, want to be supportive and buy our stuff, then I'm more than happy to create cool designs. I have a lot of good ideas. There's designs out the wazoo. That's how it began. A thing that I knew I could do, and it sure did it. How we began, me and Haley did not start this business together. Haley came along when we moved over here, and I give a little brief history of this because it's going to be people wonder how we met. So how we met was she messaged the page that she's moving down here, and I just started grilling her with questions because I was very interested in her. I've never been with somebody who was a competitor, and I've always been attracted to that because for me, I needed somebody to push me, and I've always been the one pushing others. That's how we kind of met, and then we kind of it just really meshed. It was meant to be. We work very well together. We have our spouts and our moments. I think the biggest thing that I know, and we learn from it, like I know she's very like particular with the equipment and how it goes, how it's set up. So I let her, like me and her were button heads a couple times, like how to get it to X, Y, and Z. And I just let her take control of that. That's her personality. At the moment in time, I know there was a cap. Not everybody's as an owner, and I think that's a concept, like a mindset that goes out there that the owner in a small business should be able to do everything. And I see that a lot, and that's not the case at all. Like there is a limit for me. Like there is a part to me when Haley came into my life that I needed her in my life. Like I needed her to come in and have her years of wisdom and what she's learned to help grow this up even higher. And that's where it really took off. I let her do her thing. I don't say no to her. I don't backbite her. I don't say anything. Like we talk, we communicate our actions back and forth. If I don't think it's right, I say I don't think so, and we talk it out. And that's the big thing, because at the end of the day, I've seen the product that Haley can do and what she can do with her experience and her wisdom and what she is really good at doing. And I say it a lot of times is this, I said it to quite a few people, Haley is a very good athlete. She's an amazing athlete, but she's even better when she's running a business because she's a true leader. People respect her and love her in this gym, and she's a no bullshitter. And cutting to the chase, that's what you need to have. That takes the burden off of me, and I can be able to do other things as well to advance the business as well. We have gifts, and we mesh together with our gifts, and it works perfectly together. So what they can expect is a show for the lifters. Me and Haley just went all out with this. We didn't save any expense on what we're going to do. We bought everything, and I'm going to give you some brief little things so everybody knows. We have fog machine, we have dry sparks, we have flames, we have lights. We're going to murder out the venue, so it'll be just a spotlight on the lifters and for the lifters themselves. We're going to be rocking music. We have Bama Bird going to be our MC, grabbing up the hype. I want to see lifters that come into the sport to having an experience. Some might not attain that elite level that go into like the American Pro or the Ghost Clash and competing. And I want to bring that down to the local level and feed our meets that way and have those lifters have such an experience and have a good time. I see a lot of things that happen, been doing this now for 10 years. I just see things we need to evolve and make it better. What I have to say about that is I'm very excited to host my first PLU meet. You guys got to come and see it because it'll be something you'll never see. When I tell you we held no expense back on this first production, we held nothing back. We have things that people will be in awe about. We're giving things to lifters, gift bags. We are doing raffles. We're going to be paying out to top lifters. We're going to give $500 to the most hyped spectator. That was a thing. Like I wanted this to be not a church meeting and a clapping. I want the intensity to rise throughout to give the energy for the lifters to perform on that because they worked hard in the gym and this prep, and I want everybody to be behind them for that one moment that they have that they worked their asses off for. And I think that was a good way to be able to bring people together and excitement. I always compare this, and I think the USAPL did a great job at the Collegiate Nationals we set up at that. And I would have to say they had a 3-session, 4-day meet from 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning all the way till 10 o'clock when those kids were roaring. They had drums, they had everything going, whistles. It was insane. It was the best time I've ever had. I made me want to go out there and lift, and it was spotlighted on the lifters, and that's what I want to do. I don't want the same old stuff, and that's why we're bringing something new that brings the lifters some hype and to be able to really show out. And the best positive way to see this is that I've seen a lot of federations not post and boost their sponsors. My main thing right now is my apparel side to get out and to get out across the country. And PLU has showed me that they are investing in their sponsors by spotlighting them and doing things that nobody else is doing. I hate the fact that when you get a sponsor, most meet directors go out there and just throw their logo up and say thank you. But there's nothing else besides that. There's no return on their investment. And I think Anna is doing an amazing job on bringing the sponsorship. Whoever sponsors PLU and spotlighting them she's doing a phenomenal job. We're doing things outside the box, and I'm on outside of the box. This whole gym is nothing but outside the box thinking. I never want to do the cookie cutter way. I want to ask the question, why does it happen that way? And Anna is the same way of thinking like that, and that's the reason why I became a title sponsor, because I knew that us talking together with Al and what they wanted out of this is what I wanted out of that as my company, my apparel side, to get pushed across the country. And that's the reason why we got signed up. If I'm going to sponsor something, I don't want to say thank you and nothing behind it. And that does nothing for me on my return on my investment. Anna and them have a very good plan and what we're going to do for sponsors and me, and I loved it. And that's the reason why I did what I did. Oh, man.
Loaded question.
That's a loaded question, yeah. Okay, so here's one thing. I want to see the lifters, even from the local level all the way up to the pro side, to have an experience, to have that moment where that is their time, they work their asses for. I want that to be on the production side. The other thing that I like to see not happen anymore is I'm feeling that some judging is going on where the seam of your hip has to go below your kneecap. If it's there, it's there. I see judges wanting to go below parallel plus some. Like, that's not part of the rule book. It's stupid to do that. The rule book is X, Y, and Z. And I see people saying, oh, you need to go deeper. I'm like, no, you don't. That's not what part of the rules are. And they get a red light off for that. And that's kind of like, that's really ridiculous. And I think that needs to stop. I see that quite often. I think that it's almost egotistic because that's not the way you lift. That's not the way. It doesn't matter what you lift. You know, if you want to go past the grass, screw it, go past the grass. But that's just my personal opinion. But I've seen it time and time again, and I don't like it. I want to see sponsorship change. If I'm going to go and sponsor, say, a USPA meet, I need to see like more out of it than a thank you post. That's not going to do anything for me as a sponsor. That's not going to do anything for me as I'm investing my money into the product and I'm getting, oh, thank you, and that's it. That's all I get out of that. I mean, that's nothing. That's not a good return on my investment. And that's the reason why I like to see that change, or any federation. It doesn't matter. Just could be SPF, it could be IPL, it could be USAPL. It's just, I need more out of it. Like, that needs to change because the sport for payouts need to be better. If sponsors are going to go and back a big money payout and spend their money that they work their asses off for, there needs to be a return on their investment. If there's no return, it'd be the same way. Like, I'm not making money off of this, I'm going to cut my money completely off of it. You need to push that just as equally as you push the meat. That's just the way it should be, because if you don't have my money, you don't have the cash prize to give to the lifters. And ultimately, I'm in this for, to expand my brand as much as you are to expand the powerlifting side as well. Those are two things to say off the top of my head. I could probably have many more on the top of my head, but those are just things that I automatically, right off the top of my head, that I've seen that needs to change. Federation fighting crap is ridiculous. I think that is just absolutely dumbest thing I've ever seen. This is for the lifters at the end of the day. If I want to do any meets that I want to do, it's just what I want to do. And it's not because of X, Y, and Z. It's because I want to do it this way. And I think that needs to stop. I don't know. We're grown-ass adults. Grow the hell up. Doesn't matter what fed or whatever is for the lifters. Let them decide. Let them come to the meets and be whatever they want to be a part of, and just leave it at that. The fighting, the bickering, all this crap that went on, it needs to stop. It's ruined the sport. It's sad to see it. Something needs to stand up. We need to take a ground and stop fighting. At the end of the day, we all love the sport, and we need to be able to give it back to other powerlifters. And you're seeing this bickering and battering over federations is absolutely stupid. Grow the hell up. It goes back to that same thing, is because, number one, I'm into this right now that my apparel brand is what we want to expand off of. And I want PLU, and that's why I align with them, because they're saying, hey, this X, Y, and Z, they're going to do X, Y, and Z for me as a sponsor. And nobody's ever done that for me. Nobody's done that. This right now, what Anna's doing is being able to show connection between me and everybody so you can see me and know who I'm about. And this is different. And I love thinking outside the box. And I love what Anna's doing. We can't be doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get better. We have to think outside the box. Why I got involved with them is because, number one, they show they can push their sponsors. And I love what they're doing for me, and that's the biggest thing on my apparel side. On the lifting side, and why I'm doing it on the PLU powerlifting event side, is because I like the production side. There's some things that I don't agree with other federations about. I just see that PLU fits a little bit of my style and what I want to do, and I like the fact that it's completely thinking outside the box. I'm an outside the box thinker. I don't like, I'll question day in, day out, why is it done this way? It needs to change. We need to evolve. Things are always evolving. So that's the reason why. I really believe that they're evolving. They're showing their sponsors a lot of love. They're doing a lot for us as a apparel brand. And that's the reason why I got in line myself with them to push my apparel brand across the country. Have them bad sneaks. Yeah. I just come up with designs that I think are cool. Like right now, we're designing one that's for Mad Max. We've done some old school, like hardcore stuff. I used to be in the hardcore scene back when I was back in the day, back when I was in my 20s. I do a lot of mixtures of graphic tees and simple tees. Some people like simple tees, simple designs, like just the bar logo up here. Some people like graphic tees. I personally like graphic tees because it shows the artist's skill and it shows an idea come together. So I love doing them the most. I didn't get into this. I told everybody, people probably thought I was stupid back in the day. I didn't get into it to be just mediocre. I got into this to be the best to ever do it. And that's the plan, It's just time under tension, like me growing it. So I eventually want to be the best in the business in doing this. I want everybody seeing and wearing my brand out there. It could be funny to wear it around town, or just a simple like, hey man, this is a gym that I represent or align with, the values that we created in my gym. The values that I present out there throughout the country as well. When you see me and meet me, I'm no bullshitter. I'm blue collar to the gills, man. I eventually would love to see us get to that level. I think it just comes in steps. And I think most of the time I see a lot of people start things and they don't hustle and they don't evolve. And the bottom line is this. Me and Haley go across the country, set up at strategic meets that we think that we're going to be able to get a brand out there. Some worked out, some do not work out. But at the end of the day, we keep on beating them streets. We keep on getting outside of our comfort zone. We keep on growing our apparel and our footprint throughout the country by doing these things. I see a lot of people that start a business and this, hey man, I just started a sock company. Buy my socks. Well, you only get your friends to do it. Well, how are you going to infiltrate the rest of the country? So you have to get out there and beat the streets. I see it time and time again that people just don't put in effort. And that's the big thing that me and Haley will never be a part of. We will always be putting in effort, always setting up, being a part of the community and getting out there. We're not just, remind yourselves, we're not just powerlifting. We're setting up at the Arnold next year. We're getting out there into the bodybuilding world. We're actually going to probably do the beach brawl down in Pensacola Beach, which is a CrossFit event, and an MMA too. We got our shorts right here, MMA shorts. Anything fitness-wise is what we're a part of, not just powerlifting. I'm not just one-dimensional. I'm multifaceted, and I will always be that way. Right now, our goal, and me and Haley's goal, is to build the mecca of gyms in the South. We are looking to build our location. Right now, at least this building that we're in now, hate the fact that I hate answering the landlords. So me and Haley are really beating the streets to make sure that we have what we're going to create next is something that nobody has ever seen around here. We were going to do it the best in the business. That's our goal. And Haley, she's a hard-headed, determined son of a bitch. No bullshit, and works her ass off, and me and her are exactly alike. So our goal is to build our freestanding building. So right now it's all hands on deck to get the apparel across, get more money coming into the gym. So we have a nest egg to put down on land and then eventually on building. It's going to be something that you guys will never seen before. It'd be really cool. So me and Haley have a dream and a goal, nobody's stopping us. It's just what it is. That's it for that. Launches wise, I'm always launching new stuff. We're going to launch for the Nationals 3 new t-shirts. One's going to be a Green Day spoof, and then the other 2 you'll see. I think that's about it right now. Right now, we're just improving this gym, making it better, getting in new equipment, getting out the old, bringing in the new. That's the big thing about us, is that we just don't like to settle. We want to have our members having the best equipment and their money's getting put to good use, as well as expanding, getting better, and always evolving. No big collabs, but I'm sure there will be.
You never know.
Yeah. In closing, I want to see shit stop in this federation and powerlifting. This crap that's going on, it's ridiculous. The backbiting and all this crap going on, just to stop. I just competed in an SPF meet this past weekend, and I never seen a bunch of happier people, and there was no bullshit. We had a great time lifting, all of us. Our camaraderie was high. We're all unequipped lifters. I just had a blast. That's the way it should be. We shouldn't be out there backbiting each other and having problems. And I think we should be looking at other people, what they're doing, and trying to evolve the sport to make it better for the lifters. And it needs to stop this crap that's been happening. Too many egos when you get into the sport. Got to put your egos to the side and start looking at what you need to do. Be a server, not a egotistic prick. If you're interested in more about the bar gym, always go to our YouTube, which the link will be on here as well. I did a nice, good history of the bar gym, going to the different locations and like how it began and kind of a little bit more about it. I gave a little bit of there, but it was more in depth in this video. Go to our Instagram, links there, and our Facebook as well. If you were interested, come follow this. Our website, which is going to be linked on here as well. Come check us out. Get to know me a little bit better. I actually want you to. I want you to know who I'm about, because at the end of the day, I'm really a simple man that just works his off, and that's just it. I'm a guy that's not quit. I've never been a quitter, and I will always push. And I think sometimes when you see the steps along the way, you'll see the aspect of the growth of this gym. But check out our social media, check out our YouTube, like and subscribe to our YouTube. I try to put as much content out there as possible that's informative, meaning stuff about day in the life of me, what it takes to do X, Y, and Z. We're working on that. We're just so busy doing a lot of things. So just go check us out.